All right, take 2 on recording this video. Doing something a little different. Predictions, Week 8 college football. Probably doing an NFL one later on too. It's on the ESPN Fantasy app, so I can track it, and the games are condensed games for me to choose from instead of going have to find them. 41-28 on the season so far. Not very good, not very bad. And I got almost all the way done predicting when this happened, and it won't let me reset it. So just gonna roll with it. Think Cincinnati wins this game pretty easily. SMU's not horrible. They're not very good either. Cincinnati, don't know too much about them. They're solid. They made the playoff last year. But yeah, Cincinnati probably wins this. Toledo, Buffalo, know nothing about either of them except Buffalo lost to Holy Cross. So going with the Rockets on this one. And Ole Miss and LSU. It's gonna be hard for Ole Miss to win in Death Valley. Ole Miss did beat Kentucky. Not happy about it. But I'd say Ole Miss stays undefeated here until they meet Alabama in a few weeks. UCLA, Oregon. This game could go either way. I'm just thinking Bo Nix has a bad game for Oregon. So that's UCLA continue their very surprising good season. And in Texas, they're definitely an overrated team. They're not bad. They're just a tad overrated. I can't really say anything because Kentucky is the same record and one rank higher, but Texas really doesn't have a win. They only lost a close game to Alabama. They don't have really that statement win. And they could get it here against Oklahoma State, but I don't see it happening. Oklahoma State is not. They're going to hopefully come out with some sort of fire after losing that game to TCU. And Tulane, it's the first time being ranked since, I think, 1998. So they beat Memphis pretty easily here. Memphis, a couple weeks ago, had that choke against Houston. They lost last week. I don't know who. I just know they lost. And BYU and Liberty, it looks on paper, obviously, Liberty at home, the better record. But obviously, most people know BYU is a better team because of the percentage of the people pick BYU. I'm going BYU, though, because despite their struggles, Liberty did kind of almost lose to Gardner-Webb. They won by 1 point, I think. They're 6-1, but it hasn't been pretty, so BYU. Minnesota, Penn State. This was 2 weeks ago. I'm probably going Minnesota, but they've lost their last 2 games. Penn State, they didn't look very good against Michigan, but they'll do just enough to win this one. Now here's the bold prediction. UCF, I think it was Temple where they dropped 73 last Friday, but they haven't looked insanely. They haven't looked the record, honestly. They're not that good. They're good, but insanely good. In Eastern Carolina, still that week 1 game against NC State, they should have won. Still weighing in. I think they win this one at home because I think they're a lot better than their record, so they very easily could win this, but this one, still UCF, solid chances they'll probably win. And finally, Kansas State and TCU. Got to go TCU on this one. Kansas State, they're a good team, but TCU the past 2 weeks, they beat America's team in Kansas, and then that comeback overtime win over Oklahoma State just cemented them as probably the favorite to win the Big 12, maybe even make the playoff. So yeah, I say they win this one. This could be a way closer game than expected, but I still think TCU wins anyways. And this really doesn't matter how many total points in UCLA and Oregon. I think it won't be insanely high scoring. It'll be somewhere like, say, 30, 20, 30, 30. So I'm going to go with just 58. Yeah. And that's my predictions. Try and do this every week the remainder of the season. Come out to the NFL. See how it works out. So, yeah. See you next time.